Tyson Fury's new trainer, Javon Sugarhill, who is Emmanuel Steward's nephew, has now reached out to, or Sky Sports have reached him for contact. He's now broken his silence and he's said the following. Steward's nephew, Sugarhill, Tyson Fury's new trainer, exclusively said to Sky Sports about the plan he and Fury have devised to win the rematch against Wilder. He said the following. It's the Kronk style. It's not hard to figure out. What did Emmanuel Steward like the most? If you know that answer, you know the style me and Tyson Fury spoke about. It's so simple you could miss it. Now, just in case any of you listeners out there are like me, I'm not a boxing historian, so the style they're talking about, the style that Emmanuel Steward and the Kronk Gym and Tyson Fury's new trainer like, is the knockout style. I believe, as an example, one of the main knockout fighters under the Kronk Gym in recent history has been Adonis Superman Stevenson, as an example. We also know Klitschko, who's somewhat of a pretty big one-punch boxer, was also trained under Emmanuel Steward. In fact, also Lennox Lewis as well. So anyway, the interview goes on. Tyson Fury's new trainer asked if Fury was capable of knocking Wilder out. Added, definitely. This is the heavyweight division. Both guys are big punchers, but Wilder is the bigger. He is a beast of a puncher, but one punch changes a fight, and this is why the heavyweights are the big daddies of them all. A knockout is always the plan. Why think anything less? Fury dramatically climbed off the canvas twice, once significantly in the 12th round, and was left frustrated by a stalemate in his WBC title challenge against Wilder a year ago. That was one of 5 fights under ex-trainer Davidson. Most recently, he outpointed Otto Wallin despite sustaining a bad cut. Tyson Fury wanted a trainer who was technical. Sugarhill explained about their link-up. Tyson Fury wants to be very technical. We will work on his technique. These are characteristics he was looking for when he called me, and I fit the description. It all happened so fast. Initially, he spoke to me about coming into camp. Then I heard Ben Davidson is gone, and I'm the head trainer. Sugarhill's existing stable includes Shojahan Ergashev and Epti Davitev. Now, I've never heard of them two dons, but anyway. Listen, in fact, there's more interview to go. It carries on. Fury first visited the Kronk Gym nearly a decade ago when Sugarhill was working alongside his uncle Emmanuel Steward. This isn't a brand new start. I'm somebody he is familiar with, Javan Sugarhill, Tyson Fury's new trainer, said. Asked about meeting Fury for the first time many years ago, Javan added, I'll never forget that. You don't forget a person like him, big, loud, funny, and could back it all up in the ring. His athleticism was crazy, and his spirit was beautiful. He wasn't arrogant, he was appreciative. What did I see in Tyson? How he thinks, how he treats other people, his character. What kind of a person is he? It's not just about training a fighter's skills. He has qualities that you only see in fighters every so often. We lived together for 1 month. Me, Tyson and Emmanuel. We had good and memorable times. Now the boys are back. Emmanuel would be proud. He probably saw this coming. It goes on. Davidson helped Fury overcome the problems and resume his career, and Sugarhill believes the heavyweight will remain on the right path. He said, Tyson Fury is doing it now, which is a big positive for me. His weight is down. He is training now. He likes to work. I, like Emmanuel, believe training camps shouldn't be so long. Guys in different eras stayed in the gym. I love training Adonis Stevenson because he stayed in the gym. Tyson is the same. He loves to be challenged. Initially from afar, Sugarhill always expected for Fury to eventually come out on top. Tyson was my pick, he said. Top 3, Tyson is the one who has everything. What Joshua lacks, Tyson has. What Wilder lacks, Tyson has. What Tyson lacks, neither one of those has. Oh my gosh, this guy's fangirl, man. Peter's funny. I'm sorry, that last comment there. Let me read it out one more time. So, out of the top 3 heavyweights, who do you pick? Tyson Fury's trainer says, Tyson was my pick. He said, top 3, Tyson is the one who has everything. What Joshua lacks, Tyson has. What Wilder lacks, Tyson has. But what Tyson lacks, neither one of those has. Are you joking? How about power, you muppet? I'm sorry, man. People, half the reason they sacked Ben Davidson was because he was a Fango cheerleader. Wilder, let's be realistic now. Both of them two men, AJ and Wilder, have everything that a big heavyweight don't, that Fury, a big stiff heavyweight, don't have, and that's power. The main thing that matters in heavyweight is power, and Fury don't have none of it. Anyway, let me not put this against that man. Even if he's a bit delusional, I understand that he is training Fury now, so he's got to be a bit biased. But I hope that bias don't go to his head, because if it does, Fury's going to get knocked spark out even quicker. If this man genuinely believes Fury can punch with the best of them, he's got something wrong with him. He'll go in there and say, "Oh yeah, you can go right hand for right hand with Wilder. Yeah, let's just go in there and exchange at mid range like Ortiz. Let's just drop your hands at mid range and smile like Ortiz did, and see how you get on doing that." But in reality, listen, there's a number of things I want to touch on here, and it does come across a bit. This man, Tyson Fury's new trainer, gives us more of an insight into what's happened between Ben Davidson and this man here, Javon Sugar Hill. And I've got to be honest, it's not a good sign. It's almost a bit bipolar. It's a bit Frank Bruno-esque, in as much as this man said earlier in the interview, which I read out. He said that, listen, 1 minute we were talking about coming over to do a bit of training with Ben Davidson. Next thing Tyson Fury told me, Ben Davidson was sacked and I'm the head trainer. Does that not sound a bit bipolar to you? A bit like, wow, it's a bit of a jump. It doesn't seem like a smooth process. That said, we know that Fury and Wilder allegedly don't have much time to their fight. So maybe Fury's thinking, you know what, I've only got 2 weeks or 8 weeks or 10 weeks to the fight, so I need to make decisions quickly. I'm not sure, but all I know is Ben Davidson, he weren't bad, was it? Let's be real. And after all, Tyson Fury says he knows it all, so I'm not so sure either way. Can a trainer make a difference? In my opinion, knowing what I know, in as much as Fury being shot, I don't think so. But maybe this whole, people have got like quite a fascination with Kronk and Emmanuel Stewart. They've got this thing about him. Like, people have, it's not just him, to be fair, there's a lot of people like him. As an example, Adam Booth in UK boxing. Adam Booth's got this like little cult following. Oh yeah, let's take him to Adam Booth, as if Adam Booth's like the whisperer. What has Adam Booth really done? Seriously, who has he really had? Let's talk Turkey now. David Big Toe running there and jacked against Vlad. The one fight which could have really proved David Hay and Adam Booth, he jacked. You know what I mean? Like, come on, let's talk Turkey now. What else has he done? Okay, so you got David Hay to jack. Who else? Nothing. My point is, sometimes there's a lot of nostalgia, and especially with the Kronk gym, there's nostalgia. Ultimately, though, nostalgia ain't going to help Fury, in my opinion. But I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll put my hands in the air. As an example, Rob McCracken and Anthony Joshua, they managed to sort their camp out for December 7th, and Anthony Joshua was able to do something that no one knew he could do. No one knew he could do that. People lied to you and said, "Oh, I always knew," like Hatman. "Oh, I always knew AJ could box like that." I thought, what? There's not one person on this planet who knew AJ could do that. Because the reason I say that is he's never shown anything like that. AJ's never, in any of his fights, fought like he fought on December 7th. Never. In fact, we've seen AJ with flat feet run out of gas as an example. So no one's seen him be twinkle toes, ever. The reason I say that is to say that Anthony Joshua's team proved they could flip it, turn it round. And maybe this new Tyson Fury's team will do something similar. The difference is Anthony Joshua has an elite athletic and genetic level. Fury, on the other hand, is finished now, genetically. Yeah, his genetic code is beeping red. Finished, beep, beep, finished. One of them ones there. That's what's happening now. His legs are finished, in my opinion. But maybe this whole Kronk thing can turn the clock back on Fury. Maybe it will. And if it does, my hands will go in the air and say fair play to them. I just hope that they implore some of the strategies that Ben Davison wasn't willing to. In as much as, when people who follow my channel, you'll know that my whole thing against Wilder has been from the start. If you want to fight Wilder, you have to take it to him. Number one, he can't fight on the inside. The only thing, go back and watch the Ortiz fight. The first 3 rounds, when Ortiz was being active and stepping in, Wilder couldn't do nothing. All you see Wilder doing, show me one time you saw Wilder mix it up with Ortiz on the inside. Show me one time. There's none of them. Every time Ortiz stepped in on Wilder's big earmuffs went on. He left all of his midsection open, and he stood there like a big stiff long basketball tree. That's what he did, like a basketball hoop. He stood there. That's what he did. Yeah, meaning that he doesn't know how to fight on the inside. Now that said, a lot of fighters don't know how to fight on the inside, but you have to use that to your advantage. You don't. Fury in that first fight, if he goes into the second fight like he did the first fight, where he just tried to sit at mid-range, sit at long range, and play around and whatever, he might be able to pull it off, but I bet against it, because Wilder, in my opinion, will just be will just start slinging the right hands, and one of them will catch, in my opinion. What you have to do with Wilder is do what Ortiz did. Fast, explosive feet, which I'm not sure Fury's got, but hopefully maybe he can pull it off. Fast, explosive feet, get into range, and then wail over him. Fury talked a good game. Before the first fight, Fury said, "Oh yes, I'm going to wail over him. I'm 280 pounds of inside fightingness." He talked about being 280 pounds of inside fightingness. This is the time we actually need to see it. Wilder, a 210 pound man, you need to go in there, 280 pound, and wail over him. Make it almost like and that's a great example, actually. Fury's already done this already. That's what makes me laugh. What do we know? Fury went in there with Cunningham. Cunningham is essentially a worse fighter than Wilder, in as much as he's smaller, he's got less power, but still, same thing. Wilder went in there against Cunningham and was trying to keep it mid-range, and what happened then? Big overhand right, whoop, the tree went down. Then what did he do? He thought, you know what, I'm not going to sit at mid-range no more, stuck it on him and finished him. That's what Wilder needs. You need to go high guard, walk him down, quick feet, get into range and just start going to the body and whatnot. And start working toe-to-toe. Wilder don't know how to fight toe-to-toe. He doesn't. He's shot, his arms are too gangly. He don't know how to turn shots over. He don't know how to throw short shots. All he'll be able to do is stand there. What you need to be careful, of course, is stepping in. But if you make it fruity, we already know what Fury is good at, feinting or whatever. Keep him busy and get in range, and wail over him. That's what needs to happen, in my opinion, to beat Wilder. This whole sitting at mid range, Wilder, you ain't gonna turn Wilder off being at mid range and feinting and just play and flicking little jabs. That's not gonna dishearten Wilder. How you dishearten Wilder is get on top of him, wail over him, and bully him, because he can't fight on the inside. And that's how you punish him. Ortiz didn't even do that, to be fair. Ortiz only stepped in with a few spurts. And even only doing that, he kept Wilder busy. Imagine if you come out from the first round and just march forward with a high guard and just wail over him. Wilder's going to be shocked. And he ain't got no answers for that. He's planning on you coming out and you letting him just line his right hand up. You got to keep him busy, because trust me, for the first 3 rounds against Ortiz, when Ortiz was keeping him busy, he couldn't think about the right hand. He couldn't think about it at all. It wasn't until Ortiz started smiling and started being goofy and dropping his hands and just standing there waiting to get knocked out that he got knocked out. Let's be real now. But that's my opinion, and to be fair, in a way, I'm glad Ben Davidson's gone, because one thing for sure, Ben Davidson was never going to encourage Fury to get on top of him. He was always going to be, let's try and run our way to victory. Where, in my opinion, to beat Wilder, for Fury to beat Wilder, he's going to have to take it to him. And as I said, it's good they left Ben Davidson, because from what I'm hearing, this man talking about the knockout now, I don't think Fury's going to have has got the ability to, or got the power to knock Wilder out, but he might have the power. He might have the power to, I don't know, to not win every round, but he might have the power to. I'm not even sure he can TKO him, but maybe, you know what I mean? He might be able to get a stoppage. He might be able to. I don't believe that at all, but you see what I'm trying to say? By doing my strategy of getting on top of him, he might be able to win convincingly, is my point. Because the great thing is about doing that strategy is, at least you're winning every round clearly. That other strategy at sitting in mid-range, some of them rounds you're gonna lose anyway, just naturally. Like we saw in the first fight. If Wilder, at least if you go get right on top of him, you're gonna win every round clearly, and then you put some ammo in the bank. Because if you do get put down in the 12th, well, you can say, well, listen, I won the first 6 rounds, so you've got a bit of leeway. The problem is, when you sit at mid-range and you're fainting and not doing much, it's easy for a load of swing rounds to develop. And we know Al Heyman's got the judges, he's got the referees, etc., etc. So you don't want to be leaving it that way. You want to go to him and take it to him and rip the belt from him. But So from that point of view, I think this is a positive thing for Fury. It's better than Davison, that's for sure. And actually, I've got to be honest, I'm surprised that he hasn't worked with Freddie Roach, because that relationship was already there. But once again, we know that Fury's been in a bit of a nostalgic mindset, where he's been trying to bring back his glory days. So who knows anything about that? I don't know. But listen, it's not a bad move. Let's see how it plays out. It's definitely better than the Ben Davison situation. Anyway,